All right, so far we are exporting the data from the view itself. Now we want to handle this call command task in the salary worker. Okay, so let's actually create a task. Okay, so let's go to data entry and task.py. So we have the import data task. It will be a little bit similar. So we'll actually say define export data task. Export data task. It will take the model name. Okay, because model name we need, it is for triggering the command. Okay, so the command will take model name. That's why we need to take the model name from the view. Okay, so before that, let's make it a task @app.task decorator. So here in this export data task, we just have to do this. Just copy, cut this, and put it here. Indent it properly, otherwise it will not work. And you know what? In the task, we don't have to put messages.success because we don't have the access to the request object inside this task, right? So if there is no request object, our messages will not work. So that's the reason in the task.py we cannot put messages. Okay, so redirect also we don't have to put. Okay, so redirect will take place in the view, not in the task. Task will be only meant for handling the tasks. Okay, so whatever request things will be handling inside the views. Okay, so this is the task now. So once this task is done, then we'll have to actually send the email. Send email with the attachment. Okay, with the attachment. And we also have to compose the attachment before we send the email with the attachment, but we'll do step by step. Okay, so let's save this file, and inside the views.py, what we have to do, we have to just call this task, right? Copy this task and first of all import it from .task, import data task, comma export data task. So next we'll come back to this export data function, and let's call this export data task and delay. Okay, export data task dot delay. So this will take model name. Copy this model name and pass it here. Okay, so this will be our call the export data task. Once this task is called, then show the message to the user, right? Show the message to the user is here, and let's copy this thing, these two things. This time it will be messages.success request comma your data is being exported. Okay, you will be notified once it is done. Okay, and then redirect. Have to redirect it. Redirect. Okay, return redirect. Okay, it's not just a redirect, it is return redirect export underscore data. Return redirect export data. Okay, now this is done. Okay, so the export data task will take care of the exporting the data in the background. So once it is done, then we are actually going to send the email, right? We also have to send the email. So for sending the email, we have the send email notification function, right? Copy the send email and put it here. Okay, in order to trigger the send email notification function, we have to provide email subject, a message, and to email. Okay, so let's try to write mail subject. Mail subject will be export data successful, and then message will be export data successful. Please find the attachment. Okay, so with this email we have to also attach the CSV file. Okay, so to email will be settings dot default to email, which is here. Copy this default to email and put it here. Okay, so now this function will send an email. Just say return export data task executed successfully. Okay, so that's our export data salary task. All right, just make sure things are working. And okay, so let's stop this salary. Just stop salary and run it again. And let's check if this task sends an email or not. Refresh the page and I'll export a student and click on this export data. Your data is being exported. You'll be notified once it is done. So refresh the page and you can see I've got the email export data successful. Please find the attachment. Okay. So currently we don't have anything in the attachment, right? We have to put the attachment in this email while sending the email, right? So here, while sending this email, we have to also put the attachment. Okay, so in order to send the attachment, we can just have a look at export data.py and see how we are actually generating the CSV path, right? In this export data.py, we are actually taking the model name and searching through all the installed apps. And what else? Okay, so fetching the data from the model that we have found, and here we are generating the timestamp based file name. This is the file path, and then we are actually looping through the data and writing the data into the CSV file. Okay, so if you look at this code, one thing we can do here is we can just cut this thing. Okay, this is actually the common part of export data. Also the task.py here, what we want to send, right? So in this task.py, in the export data task, what we want is exported data a file, right? Because we want to attach that file to this email. Okay, so that's why we can actually make this code as a helper function. Okay, so that we can call this helper function in the export data.py as well as in the task. Okay, so in the task we want this timestamp based thing for sending the notification. So let's actually make this helper function. So that is let's say generate CSV path. Okay, generate CSV file, let's say file. So this will take the model. Okay, this will take the model name. Okay, so same thing, we'll copy and go to utils. Okay, so in this utils.py we make the helper functions, right? Define generate CSV file. We'll take the model name and let's return it for now, and here we'll cut this. We'll cut this and we'll put this here. Just indent it properly. Okay, so inside the utils.py we just pasted it, right? So inside this command we have to import this generate CSV file, right? So how to import that? We'll go to from data entry dot utils import generate CSV file. Okay, generate CSV file. So this file is here, and this is taking model name, and this will actually return the file path. Okay, from this generate CSV file we will return the file path, because this file path we need in this with statement, right? So that's why we'll say file path is equal to generate CSV file model name. All right, So that is our helper function. So here we'll simply put a comment, generate CSV file path. So this will generate file path, and remaining stuff will be done with this with statement. Okay, so this part is done, and we now have the generate CSV file, which is inside utils.py, and we also have to import date time, right? Click on this date time, import date time. Okay, all right, save this file. And we have not modified anything, we have just created this helper function. Okay, so the functionality is still same. We have just created this helper function, generate CSV file, and we are actually calling that generate CSV file from this command. Okay, now the same thing should be called from the task also, right? From the task also we have to call this. Okay, so why should we call this generate CSV file from the task? That is because it is giving us the file path, right? We want the file path, and we'll send that file via so that is the reason we need to call the file. It's a file path. Sorry, it is not a function, it is a variable. And here we'll say generate CSV file. Okay, generate CSV file, and this should be, and you see we are writing this inside the task.py. Okay, so we are done with this export data. Okay, so let's close this export data, and we also need to import generate CSV file, which come from .utils import generate CSV file. Where is it? Yeah, here it is, right? So make sure it is imported, and from here we are actually going to generate the CSV file. It will take the model name. It will take the model name. All right, so we have the file path now. So let's print this file path. Okay, let's print this file path. I just want to debug it properly. Just print this file path in the task.py, and let's stop this celery worker and run it again. Okay, so I just want to see what path it will print here. I'll refresh, select student, and click export data. Okay, so I'll go back to here, and you can see in 3 seconds it just exported the data, and it has printed this file path, right? File path is this exported data, which is exported here on the root folder, right? On the root folder. But you know what, exporting everything in the root folder doesn't make any sense, because if you export hundreds of files, your root folder will be filled with the exported data. Okay, so that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we just want to modify a little bit about the how we are generating the CSV file path, right? So in this utils.py, we will save this exported file inside the media folder, right? We have created the media folder, right? So inside the media folder we have a folder uploads, right? So if you want to store the exported data inside the uploads folder, that's okay. Otherwise you can actually create a new folder, okay, new folder, and name it as exported data. Okay, exported data. Okay, what did I do? Okay, I created the file. I'm sorry, I should not create file. I should create, wait 1 second, I'm just this is my media folder, and this is the file I created. I don't want to create a file, I want to create a folder. Inside this media folder, I'll create a new folder called exported data. Exported data. Okay, so now look at this. Inside the media folder we have 2 folders. Okay, one is uploads folder. So inside this uploads folder, whatever files we are uploading from the form will be saved, right? So in this exported data folder, we want to store all the exported data. Okay, so because we don't want to store everything in this root folder. All right, so that's why we'll just we'll make this file path a little bit more understandable. Okay, so here export directory, export dir is equal dir is equal to, okay, this can be anything. Okay, this is just a variable. You can say exported data. Okay, so this is nothing but the folder name that we have created here, right? Exported data. Okay, so this is where we want to store the exported data, and file name will be, so now instead of this is actually not the file path, this is the file name. File name will be this one, and the file path will be file path, the actual file path will be os dot path dot join. Okay, we'll join these things, settings dot media root. Okay, settings dot media root is nothing but our media folder up to this media folder. Okay, comma this export directory. Okay, up to this media folder will be this one, settings dot media root, and we also want to join this export directory, which is exported data, comma the file name. Okay, so inside this exported data we want to put our file name, right? Now import os. I just import the os. Okay, now this is done. And if you look at file path now, file path, oh I'm sorry, I'll just make it inside the string file path. Let's print the file path and make sure whether it has concatenated these media root, export directory, and the file name or not. Let's stop this celery worker and let's refresh the page. Okay, let's say refresh the page and let's say student export data. Okay, so let's check. Okay, you can see it has created the full path, right? So this is the absolute path of a file. So in this path you can see it is the media / exported data. Inside the exported data it has created the new file. If you look at the media, and you can see exported data, right? So inside this exported data it has created new CSV file. Okay, so everything is ready now. The last thing that we want to do is we just want to attach this file. Okay, we just want to attach this file in the email, right? So let's delete this print statement. From here we are getting the file path, which is from here. Okay, this generate CSV file is a returning file path, and we are taking that file path here. Okay, this is the same file path, right? So this file path we will attach into this send email notification. Okay, now so far we were actually sending 3 parameters: email subject, message, and to email. Okay, so that is because we were not sending any attachment in the previous emails, right? In this case we want to actually send an attachment. Okay, to send attachment, so the attachment will be this file path. Oh, I'm sorry, attachment will be this file path. Okay, just pass attachment is equal to file path. Now we have to accept in this send email notification as well, right? So this is inside the utils.py. Go to utils.py and go to this helper function. This is taking mail subject, message, and email. Also take the attachment as a optional argument, which is, let's say, attachment equal to none. Okay, attachment equal to none. Why it is none? because if you don't pass attachment, then this send email notification should be working. Okay, so attachment equal to none is actually the default value. If you don't pass attachment, then by default it is none. Okay, so now you pass this thing, and before you send this, we'll first check if there is anything inside the attachment or not. If attachment is not none, I'm sorry, if attachment is not none, then what you have to do, you have to say mail dot attach file. Okay, this email message has a built-in function called attach file. Okay, so that's why we can call mail dot attach file, then pass this attachment. Okay, so pass this attachment. Okay, if there is anything inside the attachment, in our case there is something inside the attachment, right? File path. So this file we have inside this attachment, right? So that attachment it will take and send the email. Right, let's try this. Stop the server, I mean stop the salary worker, and let's delete these things because we want our root directory to be clean. Okay, so inside the exported data we only have one export file, and let's try to export the data, student data, and export, and let's check. Okay, export data task executed successfully. Let's check the email whether it has attached our file or not. Before that, make sure exported student data is created, right? And then make sure you got the email, and all right, you can see 0 minutes ago, and this is my exported file. Okay, so if I download it, so I can open it like this. Okay, so this is the CSV file. So that's how you export the file and send the file as an attachment. Okay, so that's about the export data feature. All right, so in the next one we'll push the code to the GitHub.